Good evening, good evening, good evening. A Better You Lifestyle Sunday night. And I'm your host, Willie A. Price. Willie A. Price Speaks. And tonight is going to be a different show. We're going to actually finish off our Black History show, Black History Month show, talking about something that I posted yesterday. I posted it yesterday and got a lot of comments, a lot of discussion, a lot of argument, a lot of different views. And so we're going to talk about that tonight. Excuse me. I posted on my page that I was going to talk about this tonight. Normally, we do 4 different shows. We do Understanding Your You, which is our first week. Then our second week is A Mother's Love, where we talk about how to do things with our children to help them to be more successful in life. Our third week is Financially You. And then our fourth week is Making Your House Your Home. And this would usually be our fourth week, making a house your home. But I guess you could say we're making our house our home. We're helping somebody else to make their house their home. So tonight we're going to talk about, excuse me, this post that I put up. I saw the video and I ran the video and wanted to get people's opinion. And a lot of you know what I'm talking about. I ran a post and it was a study done on weddings and wedding gifts, financial wedding gifts. And the discussion was how different cultures, different races give financially at a wedding. But we're going to talk about that because, like I said, it really got a lot of different feedback. And you could kind of tell based on the race what people were saying. You could tell what race they were in regards to the question. And the couples, there was a Black couple, there was an Asian couple, there was a white couple, and a Hispanic couple. And they used their situations to discuss how people give financially at a wedding, for a wedding. But I want to talk about not just weddings, but I want to talk about birthdays and funerals, because you do supposed to give at a funeral too, but people don't do that, especially in the Black community. They don't do that. They don't give a monetary gift to help the family out. And I want to make a note here. So I have to make a note. But that was something that really, really, really caught my attention, was the way people responded to giving financially to a couple that are getting married and attending a wedding. And I want to talk about that because, like I said, how do you determine what you give? And is there a protocol? And there actually is a protocol that you're supposed to follow when if you're giving a financial gift at a wedding. There's like a minimum you're supposed to give, and that's what they suggest based on that minimum, which allows you the opportunity to help that couple out with their future lives together, help them to pay for the wedding. Because normally, if you think about it, back in the day, it was normally the parents of the bride pay for the wedding. But these days, you don't have that. You don't have the parents paying for the wedding. Normally, the couple ends up paying for the wedding. It used to be a point where the bride's mother and father would pay for the wedding. But again, because of, especially in Black households, you don't have that 2-income household. And a lot of times that mother is struggling in whatever situation to just maintain the household that she's in. So she's not expected to help pay for her daughter's wedding. Which again, I find that we don't meet up to a lot of traditions of things that happen, and it's because of the broken families that we have out there. Because, like I said, the father and the mother of the bride is supposed to pay for the wedding, and then it's the groom's role to take that woman from the household and provide for her for the rest of their lives together. So that's his role, to provide, be the protector, and do those things in the household. You find that marriage is on a decline in a lot of communities, but primarily in when I talk about this, primarily in the Black community, Black households, marriages are on the decline, divorces are on the rise. Most women are the ones filing divorces, and that's been studied, that's been reported, that's been viewed, and they also talk about how with single women being the largest homeowners, single family homeowners in the country. And a lot of that they determined was based on divorces. Because when they divorced, they took the house because they had the house and the kids, and they were going to raise the kids in the house, and the husband had to leave the house. So we look at all these things and look at the fact that when I posted that post, I had people make all kind of comments, all kind of comments. What they don't do, what they do, what they shouldn't do, what if it's based on, if they already got it going on. I've heard a person say that. Well, if they already got it going on, they might already have a house and a car and already paid for or whatever, then why should I help them out? Why should I give to it? I've had other people say, that they the wedding and the wedding reception is for the guests to come and celebrate in the marriage, in the wedding, in the marriage, in the reception, that kind of thing. And so it's not the guest's role to come in and make a monetary donation. If they do make a monetary donation or buy a gift, then that's on them to do it. It's not mandatory, or it's not something that should be required. But if that's the case, why do people have registries? If you're going to a wedding and they normally have a registry, and on that registry it tells you things that the couple needs. Some people will actually have a registry and say monetary gifts are deeply appreciated, or some will say we're not doing a registry, and please, we would appreciate a monetary gift. And then that way people know to give them money. And so that's what that means when you do that. We have a lot of people that will see that a couple has a registry. They'll go on and look at the registry, and then they'll judge it. They'll judge that registry. Oh, they trying to clean up. They're trying to clean up and get big items, or they're trying to, or I'm not spending that kind of money on that kind of gift. I don't even have that kind of gift, or I don't have that in my home, or you base it. People base things on their opinion of what they view the couple as being having available to themselves, whether they, oh, she worked that big job, or he works that big job. They don't need, my $20. And that's the problem. That's probably part of what we're going to talk about is, how do you determine what kind of monetary gift you give a person? And trust me, it's and like I said, I'm talking about Black people because I'm a Black person. I can relate and seen and understand situations like that in the Black community. I've gone to white weddings also, at country clubs, very nice country clubs, exclusive country clubs that were booked, and the wedding was held. I mean, well, Dave, even with that, I talked about if people don't have a monetary gift, or a gift at all, and they can't attend, they actually should. If you don't go, if you're invited to a wedding and you can't make it for whatever reason, where you say, my money's strapped, I can't give, XYZ, you're still supposed to send them a monetary gift. and it's usually $50 per person that was included on the invitation. That's usually that's protocol, and I'm going to go with protocol because that way I can stick kind of to what's what in this discussion, because I don't want to be all over the place, and then people will try to catch me and say, oh, well, that's not true, or that's not the way it should be. But based on protocol, if you don't attend the wedding, you're still supposed to send them a gift, because they kind of included you in their celebration and in their numbers. So even if you can't go, you send a $50 donation. Even if you just send it for yourself, that's better than not going and send a blank card. When people send a blank card or hand a blank card to a person at a wedding, that is the biggest slap in the face that I can even imagine. You have this event, people see, they come out, they eat, they drink, and dance the night away, have a great time, and then they give you a card with nothing in, a blank card. Good luck, happy ever after, whatever else written inside the card, in a blank card. But you've come out and you've eaten up the food, drank up the drinks, and then you hand them a blank card. The goal is to bless the bride and groom. That is the purpose of the reception. Normally, if you look at, like I said, old in the history of weddings, most of your weddings were with royalty or someone with high statures that had money. And they would have these big weddings, and they would invite the guests, and the guests would come out. And what would they give? They would give jewelry. They would give gold. They would give all kinds of things of value to bless that couple. That's what you saw in the olden days, because that's where your big weddings came. And the daughter who was getting married normally came with a dowry, even though the parents would basically pay for the wedding, but they would also give a dowry to the bride and groom as the parents' gift to them to help them get started on their way. You don't have parents giving a dowry. You don't have black parents helping pay for the wedding. Very rarely these days do you have the parents helping pay. And the part of the reason why even, parents don't help pay, because the daughter has graduated high school, gone to college, got her bachelor's, got her master's, got her doctorate, sometime has had 1, 2, 3, 4 kids, and then finally find somebody that wants to marry them. So now you're looking at 30, 40 years old, getting married, and the parents are like, wait a minute, you're a grown woman. I'm not paying for your wedding. So then the bride and the groom normally has to pay for the wedding. So the bride and the groom, they get together and they put money together. And of course, because this is her big day, she wants all of her friends there, all of her family there, and she wants them to be a part of her celebration. She wants them to be a part of her celebration. She wants them to come out and, what is this? Hold on. What if you decline the invite? Oh, that's Dave talking. Okay. Even if you decline the invite, Dave, you're still, because they invited you, you're supposed to give them, like I said, based on how many people they send the invitation, they say +1, invite you, +1, then you're supposed to give $50 for each person. If not, then you can send $50, but you just don't decline, because like I said, they're including you in their wedding. They're including you in their count for people to be there to participate. Even if you decline, they're still looking at, because they invited you, some type of a gift from you, whether it's from the registry, whether it's from the registry, or whether it's you send them $50. But okay, I'm not going to the wedding, so I'm not going to send them nothing. And people do that. they'll say, "Well, I'm not going, and I got something to do that day or whatever," and then they not go. They'll not go. They won't say, or they'll send a blank card. Good luck with the rest of your lives, happiness forever, whatever the case may be. Or you have people show up to the wedding, and the wedding they might say, no children. I've seen receptions where they say adult reception, you know, or parents don't pay because they don't like the mate in many cases. Exactly. And so when the parents don't pay, and that's what I talked about earlier today, when the parents don't pay, that puts it on the bride and the groom to, again, now they're using the money that they would have used maybe to go on with their lives and do, buy a house, buy a car, whatever the case, go on honeymoon. Now they're using that to help pay for the wedding. And then what they do is they invite 200, 250 people with the expectation of getting some funds to help them cover some of this cost. That's why you go to these weddings and you'll see people, 200, 250 people at the wedding, and the bridesmaid and the bridegroom and all these different things. And people say, well, what if I'm in the wedding and I've gone to this and I've gone to that? Well, that's the same way as the invitation. You can decline to be in the wedding and just give them a gift. Or if you are in the wedding, you can give them a gift from the registry. You don't have to give the 100 because you are actually putting your financial expenses into the wedding as well. So you are contributing, but you are supposed to give something. You don't just show up, be in the wedding, eat, drink, and dance and party, and then go home and say, girl, that was a great wedding. I had a good time. Thanks for allowing me to be in your wedding. You're still supposed to give them something. You're still supposed to give them something, whether it's from the registry or you even give them the $50 because you're in the wedding. You might even give them the $50 because you're in the wedding. And a lot of times, if you're in the wedding, you brought a gift. You brought a guest with you. You're in the wedding and you brought a guest. So it's not just you in the wedding, you brought a guest. That way, when the party starts, you'll have your dance partner, your boyfriend. You're not leaving your boyfriend at home. You're bringing that person to the wedding who eats, drinks, and has a good time. See, these are the things that people don't think about people don't think about it because they don't really care. They don't want to think about it because then they'll realize that there should be some type of monetary gift that they should be given other than $20 or a blank card. So they try not to think about it because they don't want to be in a situation where that's the case, where they're looking at it saying that, okay, I'm bringing my boyfriend. I'm in the wedding, but I'm bringing my boyfriend. He should give something. Even if you don't give something, he should give something. He's one of the guests. So it should be his place to give that $100, minimal of $100. And then that, like I said, and even if you're in the wedding, you buy something from the registry or you give her $50. But what people do is they come to the wedding, they bring a guest, and I'm going to talk about my wedding because I noticed when we got married, my ex-wife and her mother, they put the guest list together. They put everybody on the guest list, and I didn't even know who was coming. I gave like a couple of names of people who I wanted there, but for the most part, they put everything together. And we had top shelf liquor. It was open bar. Oh, they didn't play. It was top shelf liquor. It wasn't no low cheap vodka or cheap gin. It was top shelf everything. Top shelf liquor. And then we had the hors d'oeuvres, all kind of hors d'oeuvres, and then they had the dinner. And the dinner, like I said, it was something. Now that's a whole different topic we can talk about with Dave. Dave said if you If you're not married and you attend a wedding with a woman, she's looking at you side-eyed, wondering when you're going to get when you're going to marry her ass. Well, you know what? Sometimes that is the case, but then sometimes you may just take a friend who you get along with, who you know that you can go and be at a wedding or something for that period of time, and they know how to carry themselves. You know that you're going to have a good time with them. When I mentioned earlier that I went to a wedding and it was at a country club. Now, I didn't know the couple. A friend of mine, she called me and asked me would I be her plus one at this wedding. And she was dating a guy. That was a funny thing. And I'm like, don't you have a boyfriend? She was like, yeah, but I can't take him there. And it was so funny that she said that she said, I can't take him there. And we gave them, I think we did give them $100 each at their wedding, which was like a drop in the bucket to them because this was at a country club out on off of Main Street in the city of Buffalo, outside the city of Buffalo. And people know where it is. It sits back off the street. You wouldn't even know what was in there until you go in there. And when I say this place was spectacular, and like I said, the little $100 we gave each for that gift was nothing compared to the gifts that they got from other people. And think about it, they were at a country club. And the country club that, if people know the country club that I'm talking about, you have to have a net worth of $1 million to be a member. You have to have a net worth of $1 million to be a member of that country club. And one of her parents or somebody in their family was a member of that country club and was allowed to use that country club as for the wedding. So those are the people that were at this wedding. You think they came in there and gave $100 gift? That was nothing. That was nothing. But that's, like I said, they didn't walk in there and say, well, they're having it in the country club, and I know you got to be a millionaire, so they don't need the money. That's not how people think. That's not how people think when they go to a wedding. Only, and I'm gonna say only Black people think like that. That it's at a country club, and you got to be $1 million. You have to have $1 million in order to be in that club. So they got the money. They don't need my $20. That's how Black people think. The goal and the premise for the wedding and the wedding gift is to bless the couple. Bless the couple on their day with a monetary gift or a gift from the registry. And people won't buy a gift from the registry because they look at it and they say, I'm not paying $50 for whatever. I'm not getting them no Ninja for $100 or $150. I don't even have a Ninja. I mean, you hear all of these excuses and explanations why they're not going to give it, but not going to give one excuse, one reason why they should, because then they know how wrong they would be. And like I said, when we got married, me and my ex-wife, we got married, they planned that out. They invited executives and all kind of upscale and politicians, people I didn't even know. I've seen them, you know, not being from Niagara Falls at the time. I've seen them, and I've seen people there. I've seen, and people were there. People came from out of town, but people that were her family that were big executives and business owners and chefs and big money condos on the water in Chicago. I mean, they came. And then I had a family member that came and brought four people. Brought four people to the wedding. Four people came to the wedding on my family side. And they didn't give anything. They came to the wedding, and I was so glad. I was glad they were there, but they came to the wedding. They didn't give anything. Ate, drank, and then left to go on a family vacation. Left to go on a family vacation. They came to the wedding and then left to go on a family vacation, but gave nothing at our wedding. Gave no gift whatsoever. And so and it was brought to my attention by my wife and her mother that was the case. That was the case. So I mean, you have, and like I said, this was family. We invite friends and family to our weddings, and we come out and we have, we have all this food and drinks, and we're trying to enjoy and celebrate this big day with our friends and our family. And I tell you, friends and family are the last persons you want to have at a wedding. Associates, co-workers, bosses, presidents, politicians, those are the people you want at your wedding. Those people will come in there and they're going to bless that couple. They're going to bless that couple with some type of financial type gift, or they'll buy something for the registry. But they are not going to come in there and hand you a blank card and $20 in a card. That will be the last thing they would ever do. And I want to give an example of something I was thinking about when I was talking about this yesterday, when I posted this. If you've ever watched an Italian movie, and this is a great example. You ever watch an Italian movie, when they have the wedding, they'll have the father and the mother sitting at one table, and you will have different Italian families go over and hand that family an envelope. Hand that family an envelope. And it's disrespectful. Slap in the face if those family members don't come and hand that family an envelope. How much is in that envelope? It's not $20. I guarantee you that. And everybody's trying to bless the family, the father, the bride and groom, and they're giving a nice piece of change to that bride and groom to be able to go on with the rest of their lives. And so I think about that. Like I said, the Italian family, that's a great example. You watch older movies with Italian families and weddings, and you know what I'm talking about. You watch those weddings and those movies, even at a funeral, they'll come in and they'll give the family an envelope to help pay for the funeral. They'll come in and give the family an envelope to help pay for the funeral. We don't do that. We don't come in and hand the family an envelope. We might send them a blank card with sorry for your loss. We'll do that at a funeral. But for us, we don't, just like some people don't tip. Oh, I don't tip. I don't believe in tipping. Those are the same people you don't want at your wedding. Those are the same people that you do not want at your wedding. If they don't tip, what am I doing? Okay. If they don't tip, you don't want them at your wedding. I'm going to go back. I'm going to reduce the screen again because I want to. Okay. Because I want to be able to read in case somebody put something. All right. So when I was looking at this, oh man, we had 30 minutes already. When I was looking at this, I can't do all the stuff I want to do, but I want to give some examples. And I wrote these down because I want to talk about this. When we go to a wedding, and think about it, and I'm going to give you some numbers here. And you let me know what you think. And then I'm going to talk about the four different couples: the Black couple, the Asian couple, the white couple, and the Hispanic couple. If you have a wedding and you invite 200 people, to this wedding, and say per plate is $50 plus, including gratuity. I'm just making a round number out, but it's normally more than that. But say $50 including gratuity, and you figure for $50 including gratuity for the dinner, that's not a lot. That's not a big dinner. But do you know, for that 200 people at $50, that is $10,000. That is $10,000 that wedding has cost. Okay? That's $10,000. Do you know if you had 200 people come and the dinner was $100 per plate. So you got all kind of nice hors d'oeuvres and all kind of different things, nice hors d'oeuvres, nice servings, whatever the case may be, all that. Just now, remember, I'm talking about the food. $100 at 200 people. That is $20,000. $20,000. That's for the dinner. That's for the dinner. That's not including the bar. That's not including the open bar, because you know it's not a cash bar. Because if you have a cash bar, the family gonna talk about you. That's why you have Black people. They'll have a reception at some hall. They'll have it catered by Mary and John, and then they'll have Uncle Bob and Cousin Kevin working behind the bar serving the drinks. And that's their donation. Their contribution to the wedding is them working the bar. And then you're paying the caterer, and you're paying that caterer, and that caterer may charge you $25, $30 per person for that dinner. So even at $25 at 200 people, you're looking at $5,000. $25 at a banquet hall, and your cousins are serving the drinks, and you got Bobby's Catering doing the catering. You're looking at minimum $5,000 at $25 per person. And then you still got to go out and buy the liquor, or hopefully some people will donate the liquor so you can serve the liquor at the wedding. All this is in a catering hall, like a hall. You know, you have people in the church basement, you know, all that kind of stuff. You have it in the church basement, and you know, or you might have a cousin that's a caterer and they give you a good deal, $25, you know, that kind of thing. But even with that, that is $5,000 for 200 guests. If you got 100 guests, that's 2,500. Most people don't have 100. Most Black people don't have 100 guests at their wedding. They have 150, 200 people. So that's why I went with the 200 number. If for the bar, you're having this event at a location and you're paying the $50 and $100 per dinner, and then you're going to include a bar, open bar for 1 hour or hour and a half at $20 per person. That is an additional $400. Okay? That's an additional $4,000. Additional $4,000 onto that $50. So you're looking at $14,000 that couple has to come out with. If they're paying $25 for 200 people, open bar for an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. Normally it's an hour and a half, 2 hours. You're pushing with $25, and that's $5,000. So you're looking at $15,000 or $25,000 if it's a $100 dinner plate. If you're doing $50 open bar, top shelf, you know, whatever, that's $10,000. That's just for the bar. $10,000 on top of the dinner, $20,000 now, and top of the $100 dinner, $30,000 now. You see how that adds up? And you're looking at them saying, well, they got it going on. They going on a cruise, and they're going to be coming back home, and she work a good job and he work a good job. So they don't need my little bit of money. Yes, they do need your little bit of money. Yes, they do need your little bit of money. We have to do better, man. We have to do better. And I'm saving this. I'm saving this for last. We're almost done because I normally only go 30 minutes, but this subject really got to me because people gave some of the craziest excuses why they shouldn't give financial gifts. Not for why they should, but why they shouldn't. But then I had some people come on and talk about situations where they got married and people showed up at the wedding, brought kids, brought a guest when it was only supposed to be for one. They ate, drank, had a great time, and gave them a blank card or gave them a card with $20 in it. And they brought the whole family, and they give you a card for $20 and leave out. and leave out like nothing to it. And I had a couple people that wrote about that, who wrote about how they invited friends and family and how people showed up and didn't give anything, didn't give a dime, a card. Some of them didn't even give a card. Didn't even give a card because they're looking at him and say, oh, well, he got a good job. She got a good job. They have a nice home. So they don't need my money. That is not how we're supposed to think. That is not what we're supposed to be doing. But we do it because people will always figure out a way how to not do the things they're supposed to do. And just as quick to not even think about how wrong it is, because they don't want to think about how wrong it is, because then they'd have to face the fact that they're doing something wrong. And then someone will complain and talk about it. But I wanted to talk about I'm going to do this wedding thing. I'm going to do it in backwards order because I'm going to save the black couple for last. And I want you to share this video because people really need to pay attention to this. For the Hispanic couple in this study that they talked about, they had an Hispanic couple. They received a total gift, financial gift of $34,895. $34,895. And they had 220 guests at their wedding. Okay? 220 guests at their wedding. And the average based on that 220 guests was $159 per person. So out of 220 people giving $159 each, they were able to get $34,895. Okay? For the white couple, they received $29,764. $29,764. But guess what? They only had 75 guests. They only had 75 guests at their wedding. Do you think that wedding was filled with friends and family? It was probably his boss, her boss, the executive, friends of the family that were executives, politicians, all the people who they knew would bless them in their journey as they leave that venue to carry on the rest of their lives. $29,764, 75 guests. The average guest gave $397 per person. $397 per person. I can guarantee you there was no kids at that wedding. There was no kids running around dancing and spinning around the middle of the dance floor. I can almost guarantee you that was not the case. The Asian wedding was $25,785. $25,785. And they had 125 guests. You see how they had a smaller amount, but they got $25,785. And remember what I said about how much it would cost for 50 or 100, $100, $100 dinner, all those things. They had 125 guests. They received, on the average, $206 per person. $206 per person is what they received as financial wedding gifts. And like we said, some people may have gave through the registry, but a lot of people will give them money to bless that couple as they're going on with the rest of their lives. Now, let me get to my people. Black people, you heard me. $34,895, $29,764. Asian couple, $25,785. The Jacksons, the Black family, $1,457 in monetary gifts. $1,457 in monetary gifts. $1,457. And guess how many guests they had? 264 friends and family, little children, running around, jumping around, eating up the food, drinking up all the liquor, fussing and complaining. 264 people at the wedding. They got $1,457 in monetary gifts. Guess what their average? Guess what their average was? $5.59. $5.59. That was the average gift given if you divided 264 people into $1,457. $5.59 is what was given to this couple for their wedding gift. That is absolutely ridiculous. That is, but you know what? The people weren't embarrassed. They weren't embarrassed. They came in there. They brought a guest with them that probably wasn't included on the menu on the guest list. They brought their kids because they couldn't find a babysitter. So they brought the kids so the kids could get something to eat. They brought the boyfriend and they brought themselves. And they gave them a card with good luck, many happy days, whatever the case may be. Or they didn't even give a card. The average, $5.59. Come on now, even at $50 per person for a dinner, not including drinks, you didn't even leave a tip. $5.59. I will never get married again. But if I ever got married again, trust me, no friends, no family, unless it's somebody who I know respects the protocol of being married. And it won't be a big wedding if I got married. It'd be a small gathering, and I'd invite a few people and, do something small and close-knit, maybe 50 people, something like that, if I ever got married. But that's not going to happen. Trust me. One and done. That's for me. One and done. And I have nothing against marriage. I think marriage is a wonderful thing. But when you start a family off, you got 264 people. You figure that's another half of what? So that was $15,000 just for the food. $15,000. That was 10%. They got 10% of the food cost, not including the alcohol. They got 264 people, $15,000 for food. And you figure another half of that, you're looking at $6,000 at the lowest amount for drinks. So you're looking at $21,000 for the lowest wedding cost. And if you look at the couple, you could tell that they didn't get, well, I'm looking at the picture, it looked like they standing along the back of a house. So they might have had a yard party because they realized they couldn't afford all them damn people. But 264 people, that's a lot of people for a yard. So I don't know where this picture is. They smiling now. But at 264 people, $21,000 plus, and that's not including the cake. and all the other stuff that's required to get married, 21,000 plus, and you received $1,475. And people are not ashamed. People are not ashamed, not one bit. And you should be. And you should be. You should be damn ashamed of yourself that you would show up to somebody's wedding and try to determine whether they deserve a, a gift from you or not, whether it's from the registry or a monetary gift. And the protocol gift is $100 per person minimum. $100 per person minimum. And if you don't go to the wedding, if they send you an invitation and you don't go to the wedding, you're supposed to send a gift. People say, well, I'm not going, so I'm not sending them nothing. Why? They thought enough to invite you because they included you in being a part of their celebration. $50 is the minimum. $50 should be the minimum. And if it was two people that was on that invitation, it should have been $100. Or send them something from the registry. Give them something from the registry and leave it at that, which would probably be about $50. But to not send anything, not to, well, I'm not going, so I'm not giving them nothing. That is how you end up with 264 people at a wedding and get $1,457. That's what happens when you do that, because you have people trying to determine based on how much they make, where they live, what jobs they have, all those kind of things to determine what you're going to give them as a gift. Absolutely ridiculous. My name is my name is Willie A. Price. Willie A. Price speaks. My throat is bothering me tonight. I should have got some water, but I needed to get on and talk about this because this was absolutely ridiculous. I posted that post, and to see the responses that people gave and trying to justify not giving to a couple. The next time you're invited to a wedding, you think about what I just said. You just think about what I said. There's enough gray areas in our community, just as well as others, that those that know better can mentor those that don't. Well, I guess you could say that too. But when you walk into a wedding, Star, and you're invited to that wedding, and you know that dinner that you and your husband, or if you brought you and your husband, you know that dinner is going to be at least $50 per person. $50 per person. If they have open bar, you're looking at another $20, $25 per person on top of that bar. So you're looking at $150 per person. You walk in and hand them a card, a blank card, or you walk in and hand them a card with $20 in it. That people know better. People know better, but people just choose not to do better. And I'm not gonna allow people to use that excuse that, well, they don't know. They know. And if they don't know, they can Google it. They can Google what is acceptable. And somebody actually did Google it and post it, and it was $100, which is what I said. I know because my ex-wife explained it to me when we went to a wedding, and she was telling me how much you're supposed to get. And because I gave like $50, he was like, oh, no. Oh, no. We got to give $100 per person, minimum. And I think we ended up giving like $250 or something. But she told me, and that's when I understood that, and I looked at that and said, I know that, but some cousins don't. Thank God, or those that do. But they know. Trust me, they know. You know not to walk in there. You choose to walk in there and give them $20. They know. People know. There's some things you can't say people don't know. That they don't walk into a wedding and give a blank card. You give a blank card or $20 in the card. People know. I'm not even gonna let that slide with that, because people just don't. They try to base their giving or what they're going to do based on what they think the couple have. And I've had some people post about that yesterday. Well, if they already got it going on, if they already got a house and they already got a car, they got a good job, then why do I need to be giving money to them? Come on. They invited you to the wedding. And that's what you're looking at. That's what you're determining what you're going to give. So you give nothing because they already got it going on. That's just the mindset. You know, anywhere you go, even if you go to a restaurant, you know you're going to spend, you're taking a date out to a restaurant. Even that, you know you're going to spend $50, $60, $70 plus tip on a date. And that's a cheap date. That's a cheap date. That's on a date. But you're going to go to a wedding where they're giving you food and the open bar, and you give them $20 or you give them nothing. That's no way. No way. But we can be on this all night, and you know we can. And I'm not going to be, because I got I got some stuff I need to be doing, because I got a big day I got a big week coming up this week. I got a lot of things going on. I've been blessed with so many opportunities to do things with my my mentorship programs and things like that. So I am going to get off this. I don't want to get off because I want to grill people so bad. And I don't want to say grill people, but I just think it's so sad that we as Black people know protocol and know that we could do better, but we try to judge what we do based on what we think the people have. And it's not right. $1,457, 264 wedding guests, and they got an average of $5.59. Average $5.59 was the total amount of gifts, and they had to spend almost $21,000 plus on that wedding. And you gave a total of $1,457. That is unacceptable. We got to do better, people. Share this video, tell a friend. You know, I didn't talk about Mayor Brown tonight. That's my boy. We and him back in good, even though y'all did tell him that I said he needed to get a haircut again. Well, I saw him the other day. I wanted to tell him, but we were out having a good time, so I didn't want to say the same thing that I always say to him. But anyhow, we're not going to talk about Mayor Brown tonight. So anyways, you guys have a blessed night. You have a great, blessed week. And I will see you next Sunday. We're going to do Understanding Your You next week. And so you guys have a blessed week, have a productive week, and have a restful week. See you guys next week. Willie A. Price Speaks.